All right, people, welcome back. As you guys can see, we are struggle streaming right now. Uh, Bear with me. We're going to get this under control. Got to do a quick sound check. Make sure all my monitoring devices are up to par. All right. All right. So as you guys can see, the topic of today's live stream: desperation. Are you guys desperate? Should you be desperate? Can you afford to date? Right. Uh, two of the two of men's most favorite things in this world is going to be making money and getting women, and those two things don't always walk hand in hand. Right? They don't always walk hand in hand. A lot of times you can get the money, sometimes you can get the women, sometimes you can get both, but you will definitely lose one if you put the other over it. If you put women over making money, you'll get women, but you'll lose them, and then you'll lose the woman. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to rethink what it is that you have going on in your life. Just my seat. I know everybody wants to date. I know everybody wants to go out there and find the love of their life. But in 2025, is it possible? I personally don't know that it's possible. Right? A lot of people have been priced out of the market for a variety of reasons, but no matter what the reason for you being priced out, you've been priced out. Right? Women aren't going backwards in terms of what they want. They're not going backwards in terms of what they have. They're not going backwards in terms of what they've experienced, right? There's a lot of men out there who they have a really difficult time accepting the fact that women have moved past the things of the past. They've moved past the the way we used to operate. Women are they're working now. I mean, they've been working for a while, but they're working now at a comparable, if not superior level than men. They have the ability to monetize themselves in a variety of ways. Right? We've talked about how women can just hop on Instagram and boom, just like that, they have access to a rich man. They have access to a man who's, you know, above you, above what you can provide. So that really throws the dating world into a frenzy. Right. So when it comes right down to it, when you look at what women are becoming, what they have become, the world in which they operate, and then you look at what men have failed to become, they failed to advance. You look at the world in which men now operate, a world where they have far less capabilities. You have to ask yourself, can you afford to date in today's day and age? With the economy in shambles, worldwide, the economy is in shambles. Can you date? Can you really afford that woman? Right? I've done a previous stream talking about all the creature comforts that women want, and it's not just as I won't say it's a need, but it's something that they definitely want, and it's stuff that they're not going to go back on. Hair care appointments, nail appointments, facials, shoes, clothes, jewelry. Right? They have access to guys who can give them all that. Are you one of those guys? Keep in mind, I'm not saying that you should be leveling up in order to spoil this woman. I'm simply saying in today's economy, women aren't going back in terms of what they have access to. They have access to men with money. They have access to their own money. They can monetize themselves. It's a different world. And a lot of men just aren't built to play the game. So that's what we're going to get into today. But before we do all of that, we are going to shoot the breeze. We're going to recap some stuff from yesterday, right? We had a girl hop in the chat yesterday who said, I hate women. She hopped in the chat and said that we hate women. She said we. She said you guys hate women, right? So a lot of times when women come across this kind of content, they think that we hate them or something like that. And it's mostly because we're either holding them accountable or pointing out their nature. And that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to continue to hold women accountable. We're going to continue to point out female nature. because it has to be done, right? It has to be done. Most men are very slow on the uptick. Most men are very slow on the uptick of what's going on with women and how they operate, right? Like I said before, a couple streams ago, most women, they want their hair care appointments and their salon treatments, and they want fashion and clothing. And I was talking about how much that kind of stuff costs. And then, you factor all that stuff in, and dating costs at a minimum like $1,000 a month. And when you point this kind of stuff out, women do get upset, right? Those of you guys hate women. But I mean, is it true or is it not true? Right? You date a woman. Do you think she wants to get her hair done? Right? This isn't me just making that up. And it's not hateful for me to point out the fact that she's going to either want you to front the bill on that, or she's going to want you to, write that expense off for her. Right? If she has to pay for that, she expects you to give her $200 to $350, which is the cost of her hair care. She's going to expect you to front that cost on the back end someplace else, whether it's groceries, whether it's bills. If she's spending on herself, she feels as though she's losing. This isn't me hating women, right? This is just me pointing out the truth. Right? So what I want you guys to do is just understand. Don't feel pressure to change how you think about the world because women hop in the comments and start talking crazy. We are going to press forward with the message. But one important thing we also are going to do, probably the most important thing that we're going to do, and this is going to be a very important stream. The most important thing that we are going to do is we're going to show you guys what's going on financially. Right? We, at some point in time as men, we have to move past the red pill. The red pill is fun. It's fun to yell at women and, it's fun to have your catharsis and point out female foolishness. It's fun, but is it productive? Right? A lot of men don't understand that it's highly unproductive to just talk about women ad nauseum, right? Because there's really no action item. Like, okay, you point out a problem with women, and then what's the action item? How do you solve the problem? Because most problems with women, you can't solve them, right? If you ask a relationship coach, if you ask a relationship expert, if you ask a marriage counselor, somebody like that, they're going to tell you like 80% of problems that women bring up are things that can't really be solved. Anything involving her happiness can't be solved, right? And most things are about women being happy. Most women want to be, I showed you videos yesterday where women are talking about, I just want to be happy. And there's no way for you to actually make them happy. Like, there's no way for you to make them happy. Happy is a state of being, right? You're happy when you buy a new car, and then what? Then you got to start making payments and you ain't happy no more, right? This is what I really want to show you guys. Let me pull this video up for you.
Have you ever dealt with this? You take your car in for one issue and they come up with 15 issues. Oh, you need this. And you're like, oh, you trying to scam me? Not really, because in 2-3 years, you haven't taken your car in for any maintenance. You haven't changed your tires. You haven't rotated your tires. You haven't got no balance, no wheel alignment. You haven't gotten anything in 2 years. So you do have all of these issues. And if you don't fix it, or you can only afford to fix one, guess what happens when they put the car back on the road? Your ass is grass because these issues still exist. Then when you have another malfunction, another repair, you got to go all the way back and fix all the maintenance. And you don't have the money for it. That means you couldn't afford it. So when I tell men you can't afford relationships, you try to prove it by getting into the relationships to show me you can afford it. But can you maintain the relationships? That's where the true cost is. It's not the cost to get into it. It's the cost to maintain it. You can't afford it. It's simple.
It's just that simple. Can you afford to maintain that relationship? Right? Just like a car, just like a house. If you have something that big and that meaningful, you have to maintain it. And it's very difficult to maintain relationships. It's extremely difficult, especially in today's day and age, right? How do you maintain that relationship when the woman that you're with, she always is seeking more? That woman is not going to stop seeking more. She's always going to seek for more. And I'm not saying that, women are bad people because of that. I'm not saying that makes them horrible people or anything. I'm just saying that's what it is. This is the way of the world. Women are going to seek more, right? It just kind of is what it is. Now, if you can maintain the relationship, go for it. Go for it. Do good things, have your family, whatnot. But just understand, in today's day and age, most men aren't going to be able to keep up with the demands of most women, right? And then you have to really think, when you get into that relationship, is it even worth it? Because there is going to come a point of, diminishing returns for that relationship. Every relationship has that, right? Every relationship has the point of diminishing return. So you have to be prepared for that, right? So you guys go out there and you invest heavily in that relationship, and men have to invest heavily on the front end, both financially, mentally, the time you're putting in, right? You have to invest heavily. And what is the return on that investment? Right? A lot of men have this very difficult time reconciling the fact that the overwhelming majority of relationships they might find themselves in are low ROI relationships. The return on investment is like zero. So what are you doing? All right. But before we get into all of that, we are going to discuss some other stuff, just some recaps from yesterday, some continuations from yesterday, some other things from yesterday, and just some fun stuff. We're going to talk about some fun stuff. That way everybody has a chance to have a laugh, get some giggles in before we get to the more somber tones of the finances of dating, because that's going to hit people like a ton of bricks. Most people ain't ready for it. So you've been warned. Let's see. I think I got another video for you guys right here.
Here are some of the reasons why I won't be selling the trademarks of Sierra Mist back to Pepsi. The first, and one of the main reasons, is because Pepsi came after me first. None of this would have even happened in the first place had they not judged me for making spicy content and thinking people would mistake my name for theirs. It's literally spelled different. The next reason is that even though they put my family through so much during that whole process, they never even apologized. Literally not once. I'm not saying I would sell it back if they apologized now, but I'm just saying that it probably would have gone a lot further than the offer that they gave me, knowing that it was like 1% of what the company was actually even worth. Also, I find it really funny that everyone's hating on me, but you can literally do this with any corporation if you just look up their trademarks and when they expired. Just saying. The third reason, and to make the lack of apology even worse, they've reached out multiple times and given us different offers every time. But the funny thing is, even with the final offer being 8 figures, that's still nothing compared to the 10 digits they're offering another company to buy their lemon lime soda from them. That's not even as healthy as Sierra Mist once was. Now that we've talked about some of the reasons why I won't be selling this back to Pepsi, let's talk about what I have planned for this name coming up next.
Okay. So I don't know how many of you guys know the very odd story of Sierra Mist. First of all, I don't even know how many of you guys remember Sierra Mist. Sierra Mist was a Pepsi product. It was a cola, a pop if you're in the Midwest. It was a soda, right? I never really drank it. It was one of those, throwaway drinks. It was like knockoff Sprite, whatever. It's okay, I guess. But anyways, they shut that down. They shut that division down. It didn't sell all that well, and they ended up shutting it down in like 2003 or something like that. And then this woman, the lady you just saw, she comes out and she takes the name Sierra Mist, except she spells her name Sierra with a C, as to where Sierra Mist, the Pepsi product, is spelled with an S. And she starts making her spicy content. She starts blowing up. And for some reason, Pepsi decided to, send her all these cease and desist letters. And they tried to, I guess they tried to sue her for her name, right? The problem was Pepsi did not renew the trademark on Sierra Mist, right? They did not, and I think she actually talks about that. They did not renew the trademark on Sierra Mist. And what ended up happening was she went and bought the trademark. Like she went and bought the rights to the name. So now her name, her OF performance name is Sierra Mist. And Pepsi is trying to now buy, they're trying to buy her name back. They're trying to buy back the rights, and she's not going to sell it back. And I guess she's trying to get this crazy amount of money up out of Pepsi, and they don't want to sell, and they're offering other people more money to buy their trademarks. It's a whole thing. But it just goes to show what happens when you are about the bag, right? When you are about that bag, you're going to come up on stuff like this. Women are always about the bag. Most men aren't. This is like, you have to be very careful when you're dealing with these women. They are all about the come up. Now, most women can't make something pop off like this. Most women can't make something manifest like this. But at the same time, they're always looking to attach themselves to wealth and to something bigger than themselves. This woman didn't come out here and call herself Mr. Pibb or Mrs. Pibb, right? She came out here and took that name because it sounded sexy and everything like that. And then when the static came, what was the first thing she did? The first thing she did was sued. I need you guys to really think about that. The first thing this woman did is went legal. When she got into a tough spot with somebody bigger than her, the first thing she did was a lawsuit. I don't know how many of you guys follow pop culture, but the rapper DDG, he's currently getting sued by his baby mom. She's over here talking about domestic violence. Diddy is on trial for doing all kinds of heinous stuff. He was in a 10-year relationship with a woman, and now she's saying she's a victim of all kinds of domestic violence and stuff like that. The first thing a woman does is sue. They go legal and try to get that bag up off of you. Watch it.
Here are some of the reasons why I won't be selling the trademarks of Sierra Mist back to Pepsi. The first, and one of the main reasons, is because Pepsi came after me first. None of this would have even happened in the first place had they not judged me for making spicy content and thinking people would mistake my name for theirs. It's literally spelled different. The next reason is that even though they put my family through so much during that whole process, they never even apologized. Literally not once. I'm not saying I would sell it back if they apologized now, but I'm just saying that it probably would have gone a lot further than the offer that they gave me, knowing that it was like 1% of what the company was actually even worth.
Like, do you guys see how funny it is that women can put themselves that close to wealth? She just named herself after a Pepsi product, and now she's about to get rich. This woman is about to get rich because of this. You know how much, do you know how much she's going to be able to sell this for? She owns the trademark on it now. She owns it because Pepsi let it lapse. Pepsi had one lapse in judgment, and it's about to cost them an insane amount of money to either get this back or the damage she can do to the product. And they can't even sue her for it. Right? This is what I'm telling you guys when I tell you about relationships. Can you afford it? It doesn't take that much for a woman to have you bent over a barrel. Look at Diddy. He was super powerful, super rich, a billionaire. He was treating this woman, however, for over the course of 10 years, and she stayed with all the bad treatment for 10 years. And then just like that, boom, she's able to have him bent over a barrel because of one video. I've done streams on this before about how women can wait. They can wait in the shadows, and they can just wait like a viper and strike. They know what they're doing. Most men, when they're dealing with women, they don't ever think that there's going to come that moment where they're going to lose it all. In most men's eyes, I'm never going to lose. They're never going to lose. This is why I tell you guys about relationships. Are you actually ready? Are you actually ready to be in a relationship with somebody who's going to constantly who's constantly going to be trying to outthink you? Constantly trying to gain. That person is constantly going to be maneuvering. Most men aren't built for that.
So yesterday's reel is going viral right now. If you have not seen it, I basically break down a mom's libido, showcasing that there's a lot more that goes into having sex with your partner for a woman than men. Two things. One, it is fucking disgusting and honestly in 2025 kind of shocking that there are so many men in the comments that believe that just because somebody is a wife, that means they have to open their legs to you. Second, I am not normalizing not having sex with your partner. I absolutely do not believe that's healthy, and that is definitely a doom for marriage. However, I am normalizing that when you become a mom, sometimes sex takes a back seat for women. We have a lot going on in this head. 50,000 tabs at the same time. So no, we might not always be in the mood. And if you are, I love that for you. But there's a lot of things that a partner could be doing for women that help us get more in the mood. Anyways, moms, sometimes we're not in the mood, and that's normal. I hope all these chads have the day that they deserve.
You know, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So I actually reviewed the video that she's talking about yesterday. I went over that yesterday. And what this woman did was she made this whole long diatribe about why women don't want to sleep with their husbands because they're too tired and this and that, and they need to be warmed up and yada, yada, yada. This is just scorekeeping, right? This is just another way for women to do chore play, right? This is just another way for women to outmaneuver you. When that woman starts talking about, I'm all touched out, the kids have been touching on me. When she starts talking about, I need you to help me with the groceries and I need you to, pick up this and clean that and do this, that woman doesn't want to have sex with you. And it's not because of all those other things. Because when you were dating that woman, that wasn't the case. I can almost guarantee you, when you were dating, the sex was just coming in left and right. But it's once you get married to this person and you give that person leverage, right? This is what relationships are. And this is what a lot of people don't want to acknowledge. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that a relationship is leverage. Who has the leverage and at what point in time do you have it? All right. Now, women, they're willing to acknowledge that. And everything a woman does in a relationship is to get that leverage to her side. She's going to shame you out of whatever leverage you have. Financial leverage, right? Social leverage. You have, you have the family. Whatever the case might be, if you have any piece of leverage in that relationship that she wants, that she thinks that shouldn't be used against her, she's going to shame you out of that. Right. And once you commit to that person, she has that leverage. And what is she doing? What is this woman talking about? What is she saying?
Viral right now. If you have not seen it, I basically break down a mom's libido, showcasing that there's a lot more that goes into having sex with your partner for a woman than men. Two things. One, it is fucking disgusting and honestly in 2025 kind of shocking that there are so many men in the comments that believe that just because somebody is a wife, that means they have to open their legs to you.
Okay. I'm going to say this gingerly. Yes. Just because you married her doesn't mean she has to give you sex every single time. But what are we seeing more and more on social media? More and more on Instagram and TikTok, you're seeing how women weaponize sex against the husband. And this woman she's responding to her own video where she laid out how she weaponizes sex. Like what are we talking about? And this is the relationships that you guys want to get into. These are the relationships that you guys want to get into rather than chasing money. And then a lot of men think, well, if I have a lot of money and I get into a relationship, she won't do that. Once you get into the relationship, especially if it's a marriage, because she's talking about marriage, once you get into that relationship, you get into that marriage, everything flips. You don't have any leverage. You just gave it all up to the government. You signed a contract that said, I no longer have leverage. You marry this woman and she starts not sleeping with you. What are you going to do? Like, what are you actually going to do? You going to kick her out the house? No, you're not. She lives there. You have to legally evict her, and she'll go to social media and she'll go to the police. She'll have you evicted because she can have you evicted with no notice. She'll just have, all she has to do is say, you're dangerous. So you can't just evict her. You're going to beat her up. No, you're not. You're going to go to jail. You're going to start financially abusing her. Once again, she's going to whip out her phone. You don't have any leverage. Once you sign that contract and you guys are locked in, you're married, all the leverage is gone. And most men are not willing to admit that. Most men don't understand that. You don't have leverage once you marry her. She can weaponize the sex.
Second, I am not normalizing not having sex with your partner. I absolutely do not believe that's healthy, and that is definitely a doom for marriage. However, I am normalizing that when you become a mom, sometimes sex takes a back seat for women.
And what did she say in yesterday's video, in case you guys weren't here? Everything that comprises being a mom was used against the man. Everything. The kids touched me today. That was a tick off. She doesn't like the fact that her kids touch her So she's going to use that against the man. Oh, the kids were touching me today, so I don't want to have sex with you. What? Right? So she's saying that she's not normalizing it, but at the same time, she is weaponizing it. She's showing women how to weaponize this. So what's the point? And keep in mind, you're going to have to maintain this. You're going to have to maintain this relationship. You're going to have to keep pouring in the money. You're going to have to keep putting in the effort. She's going to give you a honey-do list. I do this, do that. And when you say no, then she gets to take the emotional abuse route. He's emotionally abusing me. Right? It just gets like, if you throw any kind of tantrum, if you huff and puff and, you know, you're in a bad mood because you're not getting your physical needs met, she gets to make that situation 100 times worse. Right? So this is what I'm telling you guys. There's bigger things to focus on. There's much bigger things to focus on. You guys are rushing to misery to be with these people.
We have a lot going on in this head, 50,000 tabs at the same time. So no, we might not always be in the mood.
She's talking about all these things that women have going on in their head, but it's like, why is basic life so stressful? Right? You're going to be expected to maintain this person, a person who basic mundane tasks in life, basic adulting as they call it, is too much for her. I had to adult today, so I can't be intimate with you. That's what you're going to marry.
And if you are, I love that for you. There's a lot of things that a partner could be doing for women that help us get more in the mood.
First of all, what is a partner? What is a partner? You mean a husband? Right? These women are calling you guys partners. I'm telling you guys to invest in yourself, and I'm telling you guys to go out there and make money, and I'm telling you guys to go out there and put the money first. And you guys want to go out there and get married so you can be called a partner. What is a partner? Right? You got to think about these terms that these people use. When somebody says I'm a partner, what that means is I can hold things against you. My partner isn't keeping up their end of the deal. When you're a husband or a wife, it's 100% on both ends. If you're a husband and you wake up one day and your wife is just not doing her duty, she's not doing her part, you still soldier on and you don't hold that against you. You don't hold that against her. Same thing with the wife. If she does it 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, a week, a month, you soldier on. But when you have a partner, you're scorekeeping. My partner didn't do this today. My partner didn't do that today. And then when you build up enough stuff against the partner, what do? You vote them out of the company, so to speak, i.e. divorce. This is why women are so prone to divorce, because they see you as a partner. They see everything as scorekeeping. Like there's no love there. If a person calls you a partner, they don't love you, right? They do not love you if they're calling you a partner. If this is your wife and she's calling you a partner, you got to think you have a definitive title. Your title is husband. Do they replace the title for their children? Do they call the children assets? Do they call them liabilities? Do they call them tax write-offs or something like that? No, they call them children, right? This woman is calling you a partner because she doesn't love you. But this is what you guys are doing. You're rushing into these things and you're not thinking about the long-term ramifications. You have to maintain your partner. All the while, they don't have to do anything for you. You have to do so much for them and they do nothing for you. They find ways to give you less. I told you guys this yesterday. When it comes to women, unfortunately, their version of love, the way they look at love, what are you going to give to me? What are you going to do for me? And how little are you going to require of me? That's what it is. I'm not making the rules. If you look at women from an empirical standpoint, you see that. Once again, I'm not saying women are bad people. They're not awful people. They just are what they are. And I'm telling you guys, before you get into a relationship, are you ready to undertake that burden? Most men aren't. Let's keep it going.
Feminine will test the shit out of you. She will literally push your buttons just to see how you will react. And it's not because she actually wants to piss you off or give you a rough time necessarily. She just wants to know deep down in her bones that you can be counted on. And it's not just in times of physical danger or anything like that. Protecting her physically is just, it's like tip of the iceberg. Can you hold space for her and protect her emotionally when she's being emotional? Because the feminine knows how she works. She knows how she is because of her mood swings, because of her emotional nature, etc. So she literally wants to do a shit test and see if you're gonna break under the pressure that she puts you through. So when she acts erratic, when she says stuff that makes zero sense, are you gonna stand your ground and be completely unwavering and really just not in a place where you're gonna be swayed by her scenes of emotional expression? Or are you gonna take it personally, or maybe even just walk away and be like, hey, listen, I'll go now, and when you're normal again, just let me know so I can come back? What will you do? And the thing is, like, even if you fail her test, she might still stay with you, she might still be with you, but does she trust you? Will she ever fully open up to you?
Do you guys understand now why I tell you money is so important? So, Red Kyle said shit test. Yeah. That's what they call it. It's a crap test. They crap test you, right? They want to test you just to see if you're going to respond. They want to mess with you. They want to. I want you to think about this. When you put this in conjunction with what the other woman said about not giving you sex, imagine having to deal with your woman testing you consistently because you haven't earned her trust, right? You're out there working, you're out there earning, you're out there providing. All right, you're not cheating on her, you're not beating on her, you're showing up every day, and then all of a sudden, I still need to test you. Like this is college. I still need to test you. Like what is that? And then she's not even sleeping with you. You ain't even getting no sex off of her. Because remember, the other woman was telling you, oh well, once a woman becomes a mom, she don't want to do sex like that. Like she's switching the deal. So imagine this. You guys are working so diligently to be successful. You should be. We're going to talk about that later in the stream. You guys are working so diligently to be successful. And then this woman comes along and she's talking about consistently crap testing you, consistently getting on your nerves. I'm going to say stupid things. I'm going to ask stupid questions. I'm going to come up with stupid scenarios. I'm going to put the relationship in a bad spot constantly because I want to make sure that you are still capable of being a man while you're actively being a man. All the while, she's not going to have sex with you. This is what you guys are investing in. This is what you guys are undertaking. Why are you putting yourself through this? Out of all the things you could possibly choose to do, you chose to deal with this woman who's going to crap test you. And look at this woman. This woman is objectively beautiful. Look at this woman. I mean, she's lacquered head to toe with makeup. She got her, hair done and everything like that. She's been hit with the paintbrush, right? She's been hit with a paintbrush, but she's still objectively beautiful. So imagine you're in a relationship. You somehow bag this woman, and this woman is like you're showing up, you're working hard, you're educated, you're not cheating on her, you're not beating on her. Every stupid thought that pops into her head, you're fielding the thought. You're not just telling her to shut up and sit down. And then she's not sleeping with you because y'all got kids, and she's crap testing you. And she thinks that this is okay. In her mind, it's okay. In her girlfriend's minds, it's okay. In the minds of her female family members, it's okay. Because they're women and this is how they do. Imagine that's what you invested in. You're gonna have to reply that. Like the wood you love if questions. What? I don't know what you're trying to say there, man. But yeah, like you guys, I'm gonna replay this for y'all.
Feminine will test the shit out of you. She will literally push your buttons just to see how you will react. And it's not because she actually wants to piss you off or give you a rough time necessarily. She just wants to know deep down in her bones that you can be counted on.
Okay, so how long, if I'm in a relationship with this person, how long am I going to have to tolerate this? This person is going to test me because she wants to know deep down in her bones. Okay, so how long does it take for me to put this deep down in her bones? How much do I have to do to show her that I'm going to show up, that I'm going to, keep delivering victory after victory. Like, you're going to keep doing this. Like, at no point in time is this going to stop. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm going to replay that for you guys.
Feminine will test the shit out of you. She will literally push your buttons just to see how you will react. And it's not because she actually wants to piss you off or give you a rough time necessarily. She just wants to know deep down in her bones that you can be counted on.
Okay, I want you guys to think about what she just said. She's going to push your buttons to find out whether or not you can be counted on. Let me ask you guys this question. How does she know what buttons to push? She knows what buttons to push because you guys have been in a relationship for a long enough time that you guys are familiar with each other. She knows you. She knows what makes you happy. She knows what makes you sad. She knows what makes you mad. She knows what makes you laugh. She knows you. She already knows you. So she already knows that you're going to show up. She already knows. That's how she knows to push your buttons. That's how she knows. But she's still going to do it. I know you. I'm really familiar with you. I know you show up. I know you're a proven product. You're a proven product, but I'm going to mess with you nonetheless. Like, what are we talking about? Red said, like, how ask you, would you love me? Oh, how they ask you. Oh, like how they ask you, would you love me if I was an impossible thing? Like if I was a worm, or would you do this? Exactly. Yeah. Red Kyle. Yeah. 100%. Like how a woman will ask, would you love me if I lost my hair? Would you love me if I was a worm? Like they ask you these stupid hypothetical questions. And then when you don't answer it the way they want you to answer it, they lose their mind. That's exactly what she's talking about. And this is what I'm saying. If you guys don't remember the very first video, the woman was like, I was reacting to the woman from yesterday because she was getting a lot of backlash on that video where she was scorekeeping and saying all the reasons she wouldn't sleep with her husband. So think about that. You got to deal with that from this woman. You have to deal with this from this woman. You have to deal with it. And this is a good looking woman. So you're going to be very much tempted to deal with that. But how much can you deal with? You know how mad I would be if I was with this woman and I couldn't get no sex off of her. I'm married to you. I'm showing up and you still testing me. Like, bro, I committed to you. I married you. Like, we're living together. I'm paying the rent. I'm paying the bills. And I still got to go through this. You still testing me. Isn't it kind of stupid? Because there is no... Women will always ask you those questions where there's no right answer because they want you to say something that's going to please them emotionally, right? They want you to please them emotionally, and there's no pleasing them emotionally. They want you to say something that's going to make me happy. I can't make you happy. You got to make yourself happy. But that's exactly what they do. And this woman, oh my goodness.
And it's not just in times of physical danger or anything like that. Protecting her physically is just, it's like tip of the iceberg. Can you hold space for her and protect her emotionally when she's being emotional?
Okay, so this means, can I protect her emotional when she's being emotional? That means she's going to be emotionally abusive. That means she's going to be emotionally dangerous. And I'm supposed to come and clean up the mess. And I'm supposed to be the rubber bumpers on all the sharp corners. Like, what even is that? This is what I'm talking about. You guys have to be desperate to get away from these kinds of women and to put yourself in a position from a financial standpoint where you don't have to deal with this. This is why finance is so important. This is why I tell you guys, the red pill only goes so far. The red pill has no answers for this because this is the overwhelming majority of women. This is the overwhelming majority. It's not just beautiful women that do this. Right? It's not just 9s and 10s. It's not just the theoretical 9s and 10s that act like this. It's all the women because they're all emotional. And I'm not condemning women for being emotional. That's not what I'm doing. The emotional side of women is actually what makes them beautiful. What I'm simply saying is you cannot stop this. And when she literally just said it herself, are you going to protect me when I'm being emotional? What that means is I'm going to do something that is emotionally dangerous. I'm going to do something that is emotionally destructive. I'm going to put myself in some sort of danger emotionally. Are you going to protect me? I'm going to throw myself off of this emotional cliff. Are you going to play Superman and rip off your shirt and come fly and catch me? And you see that with women, right? And this is why I'm telling you, you have to have the leverage and the options to not have to deal with that. And once you marry a woman, it doesn't matter how much leverage you have. It doesn't matter how many options you have. She's now allowed to do this. And it's not like you can program this out of her.
Because the feminine knows how she works. She knows how she is.
She knows. She knows she is an emotional train wreck. These women know. They know what they're doing. They know that they're emotionally destructive. They know that all the disruptions in the relationship come from her. They know. They know.
Because of her mood swings, because of her emotional nature, etc. So she literally wants to do a shit test and see if you're gonna break under the pressure that she puts you through.
It's like sparring. I'm an MMA fighter and I'm gonna just go spar. Let's spar. I gotta make sure your skills are sharp. I got to make sure your skills are sharp just in case. What are you testing me for in the bounds of a relationship? What are you testing me for? Why are you testing me? What are you talking? What are we talking about? What potential danger is going to come to where I need to show up for you? Oh, you're going to have a nervous breakdown. Like, how am I going to be able to take care of you emotionally if you always have me going a million miles an hour emotionally? You're always draining me emotionally. This is what you guys are falling in love with, and this is what you guys are marrying. Absolute chaos.
So when she acts erratic, when she says stuff that makes zero sense, are you gonna stand your ground and be completely unwavering and really just not in a place where you're gonna be swayed?
What she's saying is, when I say stupid stuff, are you going to answer my stupid questions? That's what she means when she says stand your ground. Right? She doesn't mean when she asks a stupid question, tell her that it's stupid and move on. That's not what she means.
By her scenes of emotional expression, or are you gonna take it personally, or maybe even just walk away and be like, hey, listen, I'll go now, and when you're normal again, just let me know so I can come back. What will you do? And the thing is, like, even if you fail her test, she might still stay with you. She might still be with you, but does she trust you? Will she ever fully open up to you?
So when you use logic, when she's being emotional and you use logic, she loses trust for you. This is why most men who end up getting a divorce, this is why they get it. Because the man used logic instead of emotions. And she said, I can't trust you. I can't throw myself out of the window emotionally because you won't come catch me emotionally. You're going to use logic. And the logic is, if you jump out the window, I can't fly, so you're going to hit the ground. So a lot of men will let a woman crash out emotionally. So what happens? Divorce. This is why I'm trying to tell you guys to focus on something better, right? Focus on getting your money right. Our economy is crashing by the day. And people are out here worrying about stupid stuff. They're worrying about chasing these women around. I want you guys to think about this. You're with this woman. She's really, really beautiful, and she's crap testing you every day. Meanwhile, she has student loan debt, or you have student loan debt. I think women carry something like 73% of all the student loan debt. And I think on average, they're holding about $40,000 in that debt. So I want you guys to really think about this. Do you think that woman is not going to try to manipulate you emotionally to pay her debt? Do you think that woman isn't going to try to dig her claws into you from an emotional standpoint to where you don't leave her? Like how much emotional gobbledygook do you think that woman is going to want you to put up with in order to ensure that you're not going to leave her? Keep in mind what that woman was saying. She kept saying that women are going to test you to make sure you show up emotionally. You're not just going to leave. Oh, I say something that makes absolutely no sense. Are you just going to leave? Women want you to invest in them emotionally. Why? Because they're walking around with $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 worth of student loan debt, and they can't pay it off, and they can't get a loan, and they can't get a car, and they can't, get an apartment without a cosigner. They need you to pay that off, or they need you to be, their launch pad. They need you to be the bat cave while they work that debt off. That's why, right? Women are going to dig their claws into you from an emotional standpoint. Think about if you had that debt. Think about if you had $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in student loan debt. You're trying to pay this off. That interest isn't going anywhere. And this woman is like let's say you guys are going 60-40 in the relationship. You need her. Now you need her from an emotional standpoint. Well, from a financial standpoint, you would need that woman because you got 60,000, you got 50, 60,000 in student loan debts, and the interest is going up, right? Food prices are going up. How do you actually deal with that? You can't. Now you have to catch her emotionally. Women will do that too. They will see somebody in a slightly better position financially than them, and they'll get with you, and then emotions. And then what happens? Now you're stuck. She does all this emotional stuff. You guys get into a relationship, and then that's when all the crap happens. And she does all of this stuff to get you to invest in her emotionally. So you don't leave me. Don't leave me. She's an emotional train wreck. And then what? She becomes an emotional train wreck, and now you're stuck. You can't leave. You don't have the leverage or the options to leave this woman. So you have to deal with all her crap. So what do you end up doing? Oh, I'll just get married. It's not that bad. I can deal with this. Then you give her even more leverage, and now you're miserable. This is why I'm telling you guys, stop all that dating. Rethink what it is you want in life.
The reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half. So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did. And it significantly damaged my life. And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt...
Congratulations, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray, because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people, and especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God, and they are valuable. And they should be treated as such. Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat them?
Okay.
The reason I asked that is I've watched almost...
All right. So this guy, I did a video on this guy a while back before I was live streaming. And he said, Red said, do the tests ever end? No, the tests never end. Like there's never a point in time where those tests end, ever. So this guy... I talked about this guy a while back, and this guy is saying that he was listening to the Fresh and Fit podcast and other Red Pill podcasts, and that he did everything that those guys said. And then it led him into a bad place mentally, and it messed up a lot of his relationships and so on and so forth. Now, I want you guys to think about something. This guy, he said he went out and actually did the things that Myron said to do. How was he able to actually do those things? How was he able to actually take those actions? It's because this guy already had the tools. And now he's coming out here and he's complaining to Myron. He's complaining to Myron that what Myron told him to do messed him up. But you were able to do what everybody who listens to Myron wants to do. All the people who are watching Myron want to be able to go out there and sleep with all those women. And this guy was able to actually do it. Now, I don't know how tall the guy is. He looks medium height, right? Maybe conventionally attractive. I don't know what he looks like without the hat and everything like that. But he's probably got the money, so on and so forth. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to one particular thing that this guy said.
Every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half.
So he was listening for about a year and a half.
So much so that I bought into a lot of the things that you said. And for about 2 years, it led me astray and significantly damaged my personal life, including relationships.
So it damaged his personal life, including relationships. Do you think that was relationships with his male friends or with women? Obviously, it's going to be with women. What that means is he was able to pull all these women because this man was already in a position to do that. He already had worked on himself. He already did the push-ups. He already had the money. He was already what women were looking for.
How did it lead you astray?
Well, you told me to go sleep with a bunch of women and date multiple women at the same time, which I did. And it significantly damaged my life.
Okay, that's the key point. This guy is saying, you told me to go out there and sleep with multiple women, and I did, and to date multiple women at the same time, and he did, and it damaged his life. Now, I want you guys to think about this. This guy goes on to give his testimony and say, it wasn't until I started listening to Jesus Christ and yada, 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 so on and so forth. Okay, do you think that this guy is out here of his own volition? Or do you think that maybe his girlfriend said, hey, you need to go out here and you need to stand up to this guy? And that the girlfriend wants him to do that simply because she was one of the people who got cheated on. So he's basically using God as a cope for the most part. See, this guy already went out there and had all the fun. What's going on is this guy's girlfriend, or now wife, his wife, because he said he was married and he has kids. He was with the woman. He was able to get multiple women. He was able to get multiple women at a time. This girl, that girl, this girl, that girl, those girls. And he was able to sleep with them and get everything out of them, which 90% of men can't do. So this guy is somehow a top 1% guy. Like, I can see the veins in his neck. So he's probably kind of jacked, right? And he might have money, right? They're at South Carolina University. If he's married with kids, I don't think he's a student. I don't know who this guy is, but this guy is, he's a somebody. He has enough money. He has enough, status. He has enough capability to get with multiple women to the point where it can ruin relationships. So this guy goes out there, he's dealing with multiple women. He's taking one woman serious, but he's still got other women on the side. He gets her pregnant. She guilts him into a marriage. He marries her. And now he's out here giving his testimony about Jesus and all of that. I'm not saying it's bad for him to have turned his life around, right? Yay, marriage, and yay, God, all of that. What I'm saying is you guys have to be able to read between the lines about what's going on. This guy is not out here because he's anti-Myron. He's out there because his wife hates Myron. He's out there because he was cheating on his wife, or he was cheating on this woman, or he got her pregnant and then they got into a serious relationship and all of that stuff, was happening behind the scenes. What I'm saying is this woman is the reason he's out there yelling at Myron. It's his wife, right? You guys have to be able to see behind the curtain. And the reason I tell you guys is because what the other one was talking about, the crap test, right? The crap test. How long do you think it's going to be before that woman, his wife, lets go of the fact that he cheated on her? You think she's ever really going to let that go? Like, she has this man on national TV. Well, not TV, but she's got this man on the internet crashing out with Myron because he cheated on her. He was dating multiple women and she was just another woman in the rotation, and they had a oops baby. And then she guilts him into a relationship. She guilts him into going to church, right? And now all of a sudden he's got a baby, he's married, he's going to church, and the woman says, you need to give your testimony and you need to go up there and stand up. Do you think this woman is ever going to let go of the fact that this guy cheated on her at some point in time? Right. And she has him out here making a fool of himself on national TV trying to challenge Myron.
And it wasn't until I actually turned around and started listening to Jesus Christ that I was saved. Now,
so he's playing it up, right? He's playing it up for the audience. Red said, doesn't this look good for Myron? Yes, it proves Myron's philosophy right. It proves it right 100%. That if you go out there and you sleep with multiple women, they're going to want you more. Now, I personally am not telling you to do that, right? I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm simply saying is this guy did what Myron told him to do, and it worked out for him. He ended up getting a wife. He ended up getting the kids. Now, the only thing I'm saying is this guy is in a position of submission to his wife. He is not out here telling Myron you're wrong simply because he's a church-going man and simply because he has a wife. He's telling Myron that Myron is wrong because his wife was like, you cheated on me and you turned your life around and you need to stand up to him. I would bet my life that this man's wife is the reason that he's out there challenging Myron. I'd bet my life. He did not do this because he just felt so convicted. He challenged Myron because his wife is nagging him and probably not giving him any sex. If his wife said, you need to go out there and challenge Myron and tell him all the wrong stuff that he's doing and tell him how you turned your life around. If this guy said no, you think his wife is going to keep having sex with him? Nope.
Now I'm happily married. I have one child now with another one on the way, and I've never felt happier. But I felt...
Congratulations, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. And I know you're not against that, but my concern is what you're saying to men leads them astray because I'm a walking example of it. And I think you're significantly damaging people.
He says he's a walking example of what Myron says leading men astray. Yet he has the wife, he has the life, he slept with all the women. He's a walking example of everything that Myron says actually works. Now, keep in mind, I'm not telling you that the stuff works. I'm just simply saying this guy he's not dunking the way he thinks he is. And I guarantee you this is a guilt trip. This guy is going through hell at home because he's got a child and another one on the way and he's happily married and he was probably cheating on his wife and his wife is telling him part of your atonement for me is going to be going out there to stand up to that guy who led you to do this. I know a walk of shame when I see one.
And especially you're leading people away from morality. Women are not sex objects. Women are created in the image of God and they are valuable. And they should be treated as such. Why should God give you one of his children if you don't even know how to treat him?
But wasn't that guy mistreating God's children? This guy, I'm telling you guys, this dude is on a walk of shame. It's, you hate to see it, but it happens. But the reason that this stuff happens is because this guy had a position of leverage. That was the way he was getting with all those women. That was the way he was sleeping with all those women. And he had that position of leverage. Then he surrendered it by marrying one of those women. And probably at some point in the marriage, he kept that rotation going, cheated on the wife, broke her heart, then had to beg her for forgiveness and all this and all that. Right. I'm not advocating you cheat on your wife. I'm not advocating for infidelity, anything like that. What I'm simply saying is this man had leverage. He had leverage. He had options. He was exercising that. And then he stopped exercising it. And now the woman has him on a walk of shame. This is part of the crap test. Like the one woman was saying, oh, we're going to crap test you no matter what. He said, Marcus said, no man is telling that guy to do that for sure. He was trying to say that Myron told him to do it. And that was Myron's philosophy. The problem is he's now up there saying that Myron's philosophy doesn't work when you literally undertook his philosophy and it worked. It got you a whole family. It just puts you behind the eight ball because, you know, you let your wife put you on the walk of shame. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It says, Nick said, a lot of what marriage is today is men cowering to women's wants and expectations, in my opinion, anyway. I don't know why this seems to be the only representation of what a man is, because in a woman's mind, a man is a utility, right? Right. And in a woman's mind, women don't see men the way men are typically taught to see women, right? If you really think about it, if you really think about it, what do men do for women? And what do men do for society? Men better themselves for the sole purpose of society. Like we wouldn't have bridges, we wouldn't have railroads, we wouldn't have all these things if it wasn't for women, right? If you think about Western civilization, you think about the Greek Empire, you think about the Roman Empire, you think about the British Empire, right? You think about America. All of our great achievements were because you had to be a somebody to get access to women. Now you go look at a place like Africa, or you go look at some of the Arab empires. A lot of those places have developed very slowly because they had a more unrefined system of how you get a woman, right? When the only way you further your bloodline is by being awesome, you're going to find a way to be awesome, right? So this is how we've gotten all of our stuff. So in America, what happens? In America, if a man has money, and I've said this before, for every dollar a woman makes, there's a man not making that dollar. And if a woman makes enough dollars, right, let's say she makes $60,000, and that happens to be a livable wage for a family in, like, let's say Ohio. If a woman is making that money, well, in the state of Ohio, that's one family completely wiped off the board, because women don't make money to go share with men. That's not what they do. If a woman is making $60,000, she's going to say, I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need no man. And any man who comes to me has to be making my level or more. And she's going to say, my money is my money and your money is our money, right? That's what she's going to say. But when a man makes $1, the village makes $1. When a man makes good money, it's expected that he's going to share, right? So the idea of what a man is literally still and always will be hunter-gatherer. The man is supposed to go out there and hunt, bring back the kill. He's supposed to gather, bring back what he has gathered, and share. The man is expected to share. The woman isn't, right? A woman gets pregnant. What happens? She needs more. She needs more nuts and berries, and she needs more protein. So in the village days, right? I don't know where you guys live. If you live in the Midwest and you know about Native American culture, back in ye old days, when a woman in the tribe got pregnant, all the men had to hunt even more. You had to hunt more. You got a pregnant woman. She needs to eat twice. She needs to eat more. Right? So that's the society we live in. It's always going to be the society we live in. Right? You look at what happens. Look at the government. You look at all the governmental programs for like government assistance. It's mostly women on those programs. The government is not in the business of providing for men who fail. The government will let you be homeless and destitute before they help you out as a man. Marcus Long said, he said, Nick, women see it as you're either with them or against them. 100%. You're either with them or against them. That's why they give all these compliance type tests. Same reason that man's wife is making him stand up against Myron. 100%. You're either with me or against me. You guys ever notice that when it comes to like women's issues, if you go against the women's issue, or if you're critical of the woman's issue, you hate women, you hate children, and you hate God. You cannot stand against women. If like you are not allowed to oppose their issues, no matter what it is. And they'll find the most extreme examples. right? It's either you're on my side or you're my enemy. They have a definite God complex. All right, Marcus said she wants him to show his loyalty to her by standing against him. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because he likely married this woman, and now that he's married her, he has given up all his leverage. And that's the unfortunate part about marriage. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be anti-marriage. If you want to get married, get married. It's a beautiful thing, right? But you have to be prepared for that swap. Right? I don't know if you guys follow pop culture at all, but the guy DDG, he had a baby with Haley Bailey or whatever her name is. Diddy was a whole billionaire, and he's now in prison and going through trial because he gave up too much leverage to this woman. He had her living with him for 10 years. They were all but married, and he was doing all this crazy stuff to her. But why did she never leave? The first time he pissed on her, why didn't she leave? Same thing with R. Kelly. He was pissing on people for 30 years. He was peeing on people. Nobody left. It took them 30 years to lock him up. We knew what he was in 95 when he married a 15-year-old. How was it? When people are gaining from that man, they're going to let him do anything. Right? So when you're with a woman, as long as she's gaining from you, yeah, she'll let you get away with some stuff. But then when the roles switch and she has the upper hand, it's all over. It's all over once she has that upper hand. Red said 30 years. Yeah. Yeah, 30 years. I don't know how old you are, but R. Kelly married Aaliyah. She's a deceased R&B singer. He married this girl back in 1995, like 94, 95, and the marriage got annulled. The government forced them to do it. And she was only 15. So we knew what R. Kelly was since 95. And I want you to understand, all of R. Kelly's major hits happened after 95. I Believe I Can Fly. Oh, you're 19? Okay, yeah, so you don't remember, yeah. R. Kelly was a top tier dirtbag, but the record companies were gaining from him. He was writing hits from Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was on fire back in 95. I don't know if you guys know that, but R. Kelly wrote some of Michael Jackson's last hits. Was it You Are Not Alone? He wrote that one. I think he co-wrote the soundtrack to Free Willy. That was a huge hit back in the day. Like R. Kelly was writing for everybody. So like there was just too much money coming from the mind and the pen of R. Kelly. So they was like, yeah, you piss on whoever you want. Go wild. Pee on everybody. But then once the hits kind of slowed down, it was like, all right, we're done protecting you. Right. But it's the same thing with Diddy. When Cassie when she was gaining from him, it was no problem to stay with him. But once she had that leverage, because keep in mind, she didn't leave. She left him, but she knew about that tape. She knew about that tape. And she was like, oh, the tape is about to leak. I'm about to sue you. And she sued him. And does anybody remember? And this was like recent. This was like last year. Does anybody remember what happened when Cassie sued Diddy for $30 million? Does anybody remember what happened? I'll tell you what happened. He settled. That means he paid. He paid up. And he still got hit. He paid her that money and he still got hit. All right. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. But yes, this guy is being forced to stand up to Myron because his wife has the upper hand. Says she lost. She didn't lose. He paid. And he paid her the 30 million, or they settled. So there was some amount, and she currently has him in jail right now, and she's taking the stand, and she's part of a civil lawsuit. Like she getting broke off. She getting broke off. But it is what it is, man.
Love language is physical touch. My love language is acts of kindness. Don't touch me because the dish is not done. You see, I'm looking at the dishes. You trying to touch me? This shit is not responding the way you thought it was going to be.
This is not working how you thought it was going to work.
Not happening right now.
That's real
Read the
life.
His love language is physical touch. My love language is acts of kindness.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with it's like 5 love languages or something like that. It's like words of affirmation, physical touch, it's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff. The point is, two of the, love languages are acts of kindness. I think it's like gift giving, and one of them is physical touch. Most men, their love language is physical touch because men want sex, right? Men want sex. We don't want words of affirmation. We don't want no gifts. We don't want none of that. We want sex, right? So what this woman is saying is, your love language is physical touch, but mine's is acts of kindness. So what she's doing is she's using the dishes, right? This is what we call chore play. She's using chore play. If you do chores, I'll give you sex, right? And you guys got to understand, this is why I tell you, you have to put yourself in a better position, because women are always going to do this. You married this woman and now she's dangling sex above your head. Hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Oh, you didn't do this? I don't know. I don't think I can give you any sex. She don't actually like you. That woman hates your guts. If she's doing all that, she hates your guts. But like, this is what I'm saying. Like this guy here.
The reason I asked that is I've watched almost every single podcast you ever did for about a year and a half.
This guy right here is getting chore play. This guy right here, I'd bet my life, this guy is getting chore play. His wife is going to be, if he's not already doing the chore play thing, it's going to happen within the next 5 years. She's going to hit him with chore play. Oh, if you do this, I'll give you sex. Because she has to do, like, she's going to start with chore play and then she's going to completely cut it off. This is what it looks like. This is what a man looks like right before he hits the chore play stage of his marriage. He's like aggressively in love. I'm aggressively in love with my wife. I love my wife. She can do no wrong. That goes on for 3, 4, 5 years. And then the armor starts to crack and she has to string him along. She has to string him along. She got to drop some breadcrumbs to keep him going. So what does she do? Chore play. She's going to do chore play. Hold on, let me put this up here.
His love language is physical touch. My love language is acts of kindness. Don't touch me because the dish is not done. You see?
Don't touch me because the dishes ain't done. That's going to be this guy. This guy is 100% going to be Mr. Chore Play. He's going to get chore played right into a divorce. Right now, this guy is aggressively in love. His wife said, you better go stand up to Myron Gaines. And he was like, yes, dear, I love you so much. You forgave me for my infidelity. I'm going to go stand up to Myron. That's what he's talking about right now. I guarantee you, in about 3 to 5 years, the woman is going to be talking about chore play. And he's going to be ready to choke her. This is how it starts. You're going to go from chore play. You're going to go to wanting to choke Myron to chore play. This is what I'm telling you guys. Marriage can wait. Marriage can wait.
I'm looking at the dishes. You trying to touch me? This shit is not responding the way you thought it was going to be.
This woman doesn't want to sleep with you because the dishes aren't done. Her response isn't, okay, after we're done, you got to take care of the dishes. That's not her response. Her response is, do the dishes first. She has no libido. That woman is not, she's not attracted to you. And look at this dude up here just showing his teeth, just cackling. It said love languages again are compliance tests, 100%. Marcus Long said, you do this, I'll do that. She's trying to condition you into listening to her commands like a dog. That's exactly what she's doing. That is exactly what she's doing. She's trying to make you compliant. She is trying to make you compliant. And this is what I'm telling you guys. I'm not going to tell you not to get married. I'm just going to tell you it doesn't matter how much leverage and options you have. I'm Mr. Leverage and Options. I'm going to always tell you, you got to have leverage and options. But once you marry her, she has all the leverage because she can divorce you. If she has a kid with you, divorce, alimony, child support, the whole nine. Right? Like there's no defense when she starts doing chore play. There's no defense because you guys see this. Women don't want men to talk about red pill things, right? Like they hate the red pill. Don't talk about the red pill. We don't like that. But at the exact same time, what do they have? You guys want to see what they have?
Here are some of the reasons why I won't be selling the trademarks of Sierra Mist back to
Not that one.
So yesterday's reel is going viral right now. If you have not seen it, I basically break down a mom's libido, showcasing that there's a lot more that goes into having sex with your partner for a woman than men. Two things. One, it is fucking disgusting and honestly in 2025 kind of shocking that there are so many men in the comments that believe that just because somebody is a wife, that means they have to open their legs.
Just because I'm your wife doesn't mean I have to actually sleep with you. That's what they have.
To you. Second, I am not normalizing not having sex with your partner. I absolutely do not believe that's healthy, and that is definitely a doom for marriage. However, I am normalizing that when you become a mom, sometimes sex takes a back seat for women. We have a lot going on in this head.
They have a lot going on in their head. And at no point in time do they want a little bit of a distraction. They walking and chewing bubble gum? Nope. Multitasking? Nope. Can I get some sex? Nope, the dishes ain't done. Chore play. Nick said, and after all that, she won't hide her resentment for her man. She'll blatantly show you. Oh, she will 100% show. It'll be on full display. She will fully show you that she hates your guts. She's going to do that because she wants you to hit her, or she wants you to file divorce. Once she has that baby, like she's out. She's checked out. She's checked out. That's where the chore play comes from. That's where my libido is gone. You need to do other things. Red said, technically you have to open her legs. No, she don't. Like what is the penalty if she doesn't open her legs? There's no penalty. There is no penalty. You can't make her. And a judge isn't going to be like, oh, you didn't give your husband sex? Well, penalty for you. Like, no. If y'all have kids, she's still going to get child support, even if she didn't sleep with you. If y'all were married for a certain amount of time, she's still going to get alimony. The woman's end of the deal in a marriage is not enforceable. You can't enforce anything that a woman does or does not do. When she decides to start taking stuff away and start taking stuff off the table, there's nothing you can do. She's going to change the deal, and there's nothing you can do, no matter how much money you have. We see rich people get divorced all the time. All the time they get divorced. Chris said if she can't outsmart her bad moods or launches into a bad mood over a dirty dish, run the other way. Oh, and they don't care whatsoever how Bulbous works either. How Bulbous works either. No, they don't. They don't. You guys have to understand, these women are not like, there's no expectation of them. There's no expectation of them to perform. Like, you can't really hold them to a standard.
50,000 tabs at the same time. So no, we might not always be in the mood. And if you are, I love that for you. But there's a lot of things that a partner could be doing for women that help us get more in the mood.
I want you guys to clock that. She said there's a lot more that a partner could do to help us get in the mood. What she's essentially saying is, my sex drive is dependent upon you. She's removing accountability from herself. There's no accountability on her behalf. It's all on her. This goes back to dating, honestly. This goes back to just basic dating. Just the basic way we date. Women don't approach you, you approach them. They put themselves in a position to be seen and to be approached, and you do the seeing and you do the approaching and you buy the drink. That way it's never on them what happened. If they decide to sleep with you, it's because you were so overwhelming and you were so romantic and you were so manly that they just had to do it. It's the same thing in a marriage. Why did you give your husband sex? Oh, well, he did all the dishes and he did this and he did and he did. They don't want to sleep with you. You guys have to understand, women use sex to get what they want. Women use sex to get things. This is why they men use sex because it's pleasurable to them. Right? Men use sex because it's pleasurable. Women use it to get what they want. This is why they shut it off once they get what they want. Oh, I got everything I want. I don't really need you anymore, bro. I don't need you no more. So that's what they do. They chuck those deuces once they get everything that they want. They switch the deal. They got you out there battling Myron on a college campus talking about Jesus and how you were cheating, even though you were, getting all the girls that everybody wants to get. And once they get everything up out of you, oh, I don't love you no more. This is why so many of these guys end up looking stupid on the back end. They end up becoming content. Oh, you remember this guy? The guy who was beefing with Myron? They're getting divorced. You end up as content on somebody's channel because the woman got everything out of you. She doesn't need you anymore. Right? This is why I'm telling you guys that you really have to put the money first. You really got to be out here chasing the money. Your relationship is very low return on investment. Right? You're going to be dating these women and they're going to have credit card debt to the moon and back. The cost of living is outpacing everybody's wages. What are you willing to bet that women are going to be out here in massive amounts of debt, but this is who you're chasing down and you haven't put yourself in the best possible position, right? These women, like they're going to, and you guys got to understand, just because the cost of living is going up, it doesn't mean that women are going to want less. They're not going to cut back. They're not going backwards. This idea that a lot of you guys have that women are going to go backwards because the economy is tanking, that's false. That is 100% false. You have to understand, women are used to getting their nails done and they're used to getting their eyelashes done. They're used to all of that stuff. Women are 100%. They are used to going to the hair salon and paying $200, $300 for their hair appointment. And there's some guy out there that's going to do it. There's a guy out there that's going to give them the money. The economy is going to crush you before it crushes them. Like they're going to be swimming in debt, but women in debt, women have soul crushing debt. Women carry around amounts of debt that would crush you because you actually have a sense of honor and integrity where you're like, man, I got to pay this debt back. They don't. They're going to just go out there and get with a guy who has money. They're going to hop on a dating app and be like, oh, let me get me a sugar daddy. You guys are chasing these women down. And I'm just simply showing you with this stream. I'm just simply showing you this is what you're chasing. The chore play, that's what you're chasing. You're getting that no matter what. Like there is no outpacing that. There is no go out there, make $1 million, get all the red pill knowledge. And then when you get with her, you'll know how to stop her from doing chore play. Nah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this is what you're chasing, chore play. You want to get married? Hey, that marriage is a beautiful thing, but chore play comes with it. She's going to cut the sex off. Nope, no more sex. And then it's chore play. You want to have sex? Okay, I'll let you have 5 minutes of sex if you run the sweeper, walk the dog, take out the trash, do the dishes. That's coming with it. This is why I'm saying you might want to put yourself in the best position financially first. Could you imagine doing chore play with a woman and you're broke? You don't even have the money that you want to have. You ain't even touching the kind of money you want to touch. If you're making good money, you could at least stash some away and, have a good exit strategy. If you don't even have the money, you're screwed. Imagine doing chore play. Imagine marrying a woman and you're making like 70,000 and she's making like 55, 60,000 and you guys are living in a house. Do you think she's going to live in a house that has a comfortable mortgage? Do you think she's going to want to live in an area with a comfortable mortgage? Right? You guys are making just over 100K before tax. She's going to want to live at the maximum level because she don't care about your money. She's looking at monkey branching to something better anyways. So imagine living with this woman. You need her income, right? Her income is 100% necessary. And she's pulling this kind of stuff. Oh, chore play. What are we talking about? Like, this is what I'm telling you guys. This is coming no matter what. If you're going to get hit with chore play, you should at least get hit with chore play from a woman where, well, I don't actually need you. I can leave the relationship if I see fit. If you're making 60,000 and she's making like 50,000 and you guys are living above your means, which you're going to be, right? You should at least want to be making 150,000. That way, when she starts talking stupid, you can just get rid of her. It's a whole lot easier to get rid of her. It's a whole lot easier. If you guys are comparable in your incomes, you actually need her to pay the mortgage. You actually need her to pay the rent. So you have to tolerate chore play. You have to tolerate all that stupid stuff. It's soul crushing. You're going to be out here like this guy fighting Myron. Let me show you guys the whole basis. Let me show you guys the whole basis of this stream in case you weren't here at the beginning.
Have you ever dealt with this? You take your car in for one issue and they come up with 15 issues. Oh, you need this. And you're like, oh, you trying to scam me? Not really, because in 2-3 years, you haven't taken your car in for any maintenance. You haven't changed your tires. You haven't rotated your tires. You haven't got no balance, no wheel alignment. You haven't gotten anything in 2 years. So you do have all of these issues. And if you don't fix it, or you can only afford to fix one, guess what happens when they put the car back on the road? Your ass is grass because these issues still exist. Then when you have another malfunction, another repair, you got to go all the way back and fix all the maintenance. And you don't have the money for it. That means you couldn't afford it. So when I tell men you can't afford relationships, you try to prove it by getting into the relationships to show me you can afford it. But can you maintain the relationships? That's where the true cost is. It's not the cost to get into it. It's the cost to maintain it. You can't afford it. It's simple.
Can you maintain that relationship? That's what, like just like the man said, no matter what, when you take that car in, the issues that they're talking about are real. It's not made up. The issues that your girlfriend or your wife are going to bring to you are going to be real. It's not just going to be made up. You got to deal with all of it. You have to deal with it. That's relationship maintenance. This is why the woman was saying, we're going to crap test you. This is why they're going to do all that conditional testing. Right? It's another form of her trying to condition you. Why? That's part of relationship maintenance. That's their way of maintaining the relationship. Do I have emotional control over you? They want to know, do they have emotional control over you at all times? If I want to steer the relationship left, do we go left? If I want to go right, do we go right? That's what they want to do. Hitting you with chore play, not giving you sex, manipulating you emotionally, starting fights for no reason, that's all a part of their form of relationship maintenance. There's no amount of money that you can earn to prevent that. You can only have leverage and options to cut the strings and deuce out. Once you sign that contract for marriage, it's over. Once you're on the lease with her, you can't just evict her. Or you can evict her, but you got to give her time. Some places it's 30 days. Some places it's 90 days. Sometimes she can get an injunction for a judge where you just can't evict her, whatever the case might be. Right? So when I'm talking about not getting into these relationships, what I'm simply saying is, are you prepared? Because most people want relationships. are you prepared to maintain it? Are you prepared to get emotionally manipulated? Are you prepared for what happens when you don't go with the emotional manipulation? Are you prepared for that fight, for the tears, for the he's abusive? The guy DDG, I don't know how many of you guys know him. He's a streamer, right? I only know him because he keeps popping up on the timeline for the stuff with he's married to or dated an actress. They had a kid, and now this girl is putting him through the ringer. He out here making all this money, making $1 million a month streaming. She ain't making no money because she's a washed up actor that nobody likes, but she's putting him through the ringer. Why? It's relationship maintenance. That's what we're looking at. And this is a man who has money. Like I say, he makes $1 million a month streaming. How many millions a month do you make? And you want a relationship and you see what he's getting put through. It doesn't get better. I'm going to read this for you guys real quick. It says, when my sons watch me do my makeup and ask if they can do theirs next. And the background track is somebody saying no, like, nope. Now I want you to pay attention to what the woman in red says.
No.
I don't agree with your take on this. I'm not going to be rude or sarcastic or get immediately offended. I am offended as a mom raising sons, but I'd like to offer a different perspective. When you let your son play with or be curious about makeup or nail polish, I see three main outcomes. One, you get an opportunity to dismantle traditional gender norms and roles associated with those. And if you do some reflection as a woman, those have not worked for you either. Telling boys they can't do girl things plants a seed that girl things are bad or stupid, worthless, less than. Misogyny is perpetuated. 2. If you say yes, he'll get the message that he can be open and authentic with you. He's loved for who he is and what he's interested in. Down the line, it might not be makeup. It might be something else that he's struggling to figure out about himself. I'm not talking about gender identity or even sexuality. I mean anything that makes him feel different. But he'll know that your love and support for him isn't conditional upon...
Okay, I'm going to stop it because she's got about another minute. This is one of those things. We talk about leverage and we talk about options. This woman is married. Okay. Now I want you guys to really think about this. This woman is married and she's talking about she's open to doing her son's makeup and stuff like that and letting him explore and yada, yada, yada. Could you imagine being a man? You work, hard to provide for your family. You work hard to get a relationship. You do right by your wife. And this is how she repays you, is by letting your son lean in to feminine stuff like this. Now, the question becomes, how do you stop this? You can't. This woman that you're going to marry, she's allowed to effeminize your son. She's allowed to paint your son up and make him look. She's allowed to put the makeup on the kid. She's allowed to let him wear girl clothes and all of this. She can be as liberal as she wants. There's a contract betwixt the two of you that says she can do whatever she wants. And there's no ramifications you can bring against her. He said, what the heck? The boy can do makeup if he's Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt. If you acting, sure. But she's talking about, she's doing her get ready with me and she's putting all her crap on. And the kid says, I want to do mine next. Kids do stuff like that. They're just like, oh, I want to do this. It looks fun. Or they don't know what it is. But all of a sudden, this is how your son turns into James Charles. This is how your son is one of those kinds of people. And that's cool if that's what you're into. It's cool if you're cool with that. Hey, who am I? But the problem is, most men, if you ask most men, do you want a gay son? Most people will fumble over it and say, well, I'll love my son no matter what. And I say, no. Do you want a gay son? Do you desire for your son to be getting his back blown out? Is that what you desire? do you want your son to be bending or doing the bending? He says, where's the dad at? Raul said, where's the dad at? He's doing chore play. He doing the dishes. The dad is doing the dishes. That's where he's at. This is what I'm talking about. The dad has no power. You guys have no power in these relationships that you're chasing. In these Western relationships, it doesn't matter where the dad is. What is he going to do? Tell the mom no? Oh, you don't want me to turn my son gay? You don't want me to dress my son up? Cool. Cool story. Let's take it to the judge. Divorce. That's how it works. That's how you end up getting divorced. And that's how you end up with your wife on Instagram dragging you, talking about, I got divorced because my son's father was homophobic. You're not allowed to you're not allowed to keep your son from being gay. You ain't allowed. It said, note to self, guy, no update on your live from YouTube like yesterday. You know, I'm gonna have to start. I don't know what YouTube is doing. I have no clue what they're doing. I'm gonna start trying to get the waiting room ready like an hour prior. But yeah, like YouTube is not updating a lot of people on a lot of, like, they updated the algorithm like 3 months ago and everything's just been wild. So I don't know. Maybe I made somebody mad on the back end of YouTube. But yeah, you guys are not allowed to do anything to sway your son to the right side, so to speak. She's allowed to make your son gay. And if you oppose that, she's allowed to make your life miserable. Right? So it doesn't need, and this is what I'm telling you guys. All the leverage and options in the world. Because let's think about this. Let's say you have all the leverage, you got all the options, you're rich, you're wealthy, whatever the case might be, and the woman decides, I want my son to be gay. Keep in mind, I just asked you guys, most people don't want to say, I want my son to be gay. Some people are okay with it, but most people don't say they want that, right? It's just like foster kids. If there's all these kids that you're going to foster, does anybody want to foster or adopt the kid with Down syndrome? It's an ugly thing to say, but it's realistic. If you got 15 foster kids and you say, I'm going to walk out with one of these kids, and the person says, do you want the kid with Down syndrome? You might say, well, if a kid has Down syndrome, I'm not going to not love him. And the guy's like, no, I'm not asking you that. I'm saying, do you desire that? Because that's what we're about to give you. Most people don't want to say that. Raul said, doing dishes and cooking dinner. Yeah, that's what he's doing. If your wife is bold enough to get up on Instagram and say some stupid stuff like what this woman is saying, you are definitely doing the dishes and cooking dinner and sweeping. Like, you're not a real man. But like, this is what I say, when you guys are saying you want to get into a relationship, what I always ask people is, how do you avoid this? How do you avoid the mother of your child doing this? And nobody, note to self, guy, says, what game is this in the background? This is Doom: The Dark Ages. It just dropped like a day or so ago. It's not my game footage. It's somebody else's. I just downloaded it. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike because I'm yapping over it. But it's Doom: The Dark Ages. So I am a Doom fan. I'm a big Doom fan. But if your wife gets up here and she's doing this, like, I always ask guys, what would you do if your wife did this? I'm gonna restart this and I'm gonna try to stop it at the exact same point. And I just want you guys to say, what would you do? How? It says, when my sons watch me do my makeup and ask if they can do theirs next.
No.
I don't agree with your take on this. I'm not going to be rude or sarcastic or get immediately offended. I am offended as a mom raising sons, but I'd like to offer a different perspective. When you let your son play with or be curious about makeup or nail polish, I see three main outcomes. One, you get an opportunity to dismantle traditional gender norms and roles associated with those. And if you do some reflection as a woman, those have not worked for you either. Telling boys they can't do girl things plants a seed that girl things are bad or stupid, worthless, less than. Misogyny is perpetuated. Two, if you say yes, he'll get the message that he can be open and authentic with you. He's loved for who he is and what he's interested in. Down the line, it might not be makeup. It might be something else that he's struggling to figure out about himself.
Okay, I want to pause this. This woman said if you let this kid explore, he'll be accepted for who he is. Let's say you allow your child to be effeminate, to act gay. But then the child ends up, it was a male child, and then your child ends up not being gay. Do you think women who saw him act in an effeminate manner are going to just accept him as a romantic partner? This woman is sabotaging her son. Like, you're setting your son up for utter and complete failure. There's no way he's going to be accepted for who he is. He might be in the friend zone with a great many women. He might be their gay best friend that they don't know is not gay, but he's not going to be accepted, especially not as a boyfriend. They're not going to accept him as a man. And so this is what your wife is allowed to do. She's allowed to destroy your son as a man. She's allowed to destroy him. And there's nothing how do you stop this?
I'm not talking about gender identity or even sexuality. I mean anything that makes him feel different. But he'll know that your love and support for him isn't conditional upon any of that. I don't know about you, but communicating that is my main goal as a parent. 3, if you say yes, you help build his confidence and sense of self-worth. He feels good doing something that makes him happy. I'm never going to forget the 8th grade boy who wore a dress to school when I was teaching a couple years ago. He walked in with so much confidence that not a single kid in the room had the audacity to even look in his direction too long and definitely not make a comment. Bullies prey on weakness, never on confidence.
Do you guys see the problem? She's talking about, oh, I was teaching and this kid walked in with a dress a few years ago. It is 2025. A few years ago puts us in an immediate post-COVID world where cancel culture is at an all-time high. Of course they can't say anything. You've beat the bully out of everyone. Of course they can't say anything. This woman is talking like the kids aren't still thinking it. This is why I said, you out there wearing a dress, you out there putting on makeup. Do you think any woman sees you in a masculine light? Do you think you're going to be able to date any woman? She's seeing you in a dress. How do you stop your wife from doing this to your son? How do you stop your wife from turning your son gay with these kind words, these words of affirmation? She's allowed to tell the boy from an emotional standpoint, oh, it's okay to, explore and do all of this and do all that. But she's not looking 5, 10, 15 years down the road. She's not looking to when this kid is in college and he's over that effeminate phase and he can't escape it because all those pictures are online and everybody knows him as the gay kid. And all the girls can say, oh, you used to be gay. You used to do this. She's not looking at it. She's setting the boy up for failure. But you can't stop your wife from setting your child up for failure. You can't stop it. How do you stop your wife from destroying your children? It's the same thing with divorce. She's not happy. She's going to file for divorce. How do you stop that? You can't.
Raising a confident kid is mindful work. Raising a bully is also mindful work. Bonus number 4, simply put, he will be more willing to accept others. He might outgrow this momentary interest in makeup, which is probably just him wanting to bond with you, let's be honest. But if he does see a man or a trans person wearing makeup, he won't be so quick to judge or become a bully himself. If you see this video, I hope you'll reconsider putting content like this out on the internet.
Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Like, I'm not going to tell you not to seek out relationships. I'm just going to tell you this is what's waiting for you on the other end of it. This is what's waiting for you on the other end of that relationship. A woman who can't be controlled, a woman who's allowed to just destroy your son. This woman's whole page is on Instagram is dedicated to her being a boy mom and her doing things that are going to make her son more open to feminism, more acceptable by feminists, right? She wants to build a man that feminists would be proud of. That's her whole thing. She wants to build a feminist friendly man. How do you prevent your wife from destroying your child, from destroying your son? You can't. You can't stop it. It's not possible. This is why I'm saying, if you guys want to get into a relationship, go for it. Get into that relationship, but just understand what's about to happen. Understand what is about to happen to you. And this is why what I'm doing right now is telling you, you need to put finance first. Right? You guys need to put finance first. I want you to think about this. You get into a relationship with a woman and all of a sudden she has an auto loan default. She defaults on her auto loan. What's going to happen? Do you think there's going to be less manipulation in that relationship or more manipulation because she defaulted on her auto loan? She defaults on her auto loan and now all of a sudden she gets her car repossessed. You can't just leave me. You can't. She's going to become this drain on your resources. You can't just leave me. They repossessed my car. You marry that woman and she gets a repossession. What happens? Now, all of a sudden, you're on the hook. You're going to be on the hook for that. That's going to go on your credit. She's going to want you to co-sign on that. What happens when you co-sign on that? You co-signed on her debt. You co-signed for her to get a car. She decides, you know what? I want to quit my job. She quits the job. She can't pay for the car. She defaults on the loan. You co-signed on it. It goes to your credit. How did she get you into that position? She manipulated you into that position. Right? She manipulated you into that position. This is why I'm saying when you guys look at these relationships, you got to look at them from the standpoint of finance. Are you able to maintain this? When she gets that auto loan, if you co-sign for it, can you pay it? When she starts defaulting on her loans, do you have the money to put it up? Because she's going to expect that. She's 100% going to expect that you have the money to go out there and just pay her bills. Medical debt. That woman falls down and she breaks her leg. She gets sick. She has some sort of medical issue. Women have lots of medical issues. What happens? She wants to stay on birth control or something like that. Who's paying her copays? She got a $60 copay, $200 copay, $300 copay. Who's paying for that? You can't just not pay her copay. You can't just not give her money. You're in a relationship with this woman. You live with this woman. You live in the same house as this woman, and she needs a medical copay. What's going to happen when you say no? Like, oh, no, that's your health, not mine. It's like, bro, what do you think is going to happen? You think she's going to give you less sex or more? You think there's going to be less peace in the house or more peace in the house? If you decide, nah, I'm not going to mess with your copays. That's your copay. These are all things that lower the return on the investment, right? Do you think she's going to be a financial, you think she's going to be financially responsible, or she's going to mismanage all of her finances early on? But you want to get into a relationship, you're going to have to manage all the fallout from her mismanagement of her finances. Her credit score is going to be in the toilet, but you want to be with this woman, right? Let's go back and look at this. Let's go back and look at this.
Here are some of the reasons why I won't be
So
selling
yesterday's reel is going viral right now. If you have not
This
seen it,
woman.
I basically break down a mom's libido, showcasing that there's a lot more that goes into having sex with your partner for a woman.
This woman yesterday, I did a video on her yesterday where she broke out a chalkboard and she was talking about what goes into a woman's libido and why women can't just, have sex just like that. Boom. She was doing all of that, and that's all well and good. That's all cool. But I want you to think about this. This same woman who's not going to be giving you sex and is going to be keeping score and keeping notes as to why she doesn't want to sleep with you. She doesn't want to be intimate with you because she's a mom and she's got stuff going on. This is the same woman who's going to be defaulting on her auto loans. This is the same woman who's going to have some sort of medical debt, some sort of copay that you have to deal with. But that's what's waiting for you. Are you ready to maintain this person? Right? People under the age of 35 are going to be going bankrupt left and right. You got student loans, you got auto loans, you got a lot of medical bills. People are having kids. You don't have kids for free in case you didn't. In case none of you have had kids, you don't have kids for free. You get these big old bills from the hospital. Your medical insurance is garbage. You got to pay for your apartments. You have so much going on. You're expected to maintain this. All the while, she's not even giving you an adequate reason as to why you should maintain her. But you're expected to do it. You can't just say no. You live with this person. Right? This is what I'm saying. You're going to be in a desperate situation. Your situation is going to get very desperate very quickly. Very desperate. You think there's not going to be an uptick in predatory lenders? Right? You guys don't think that the banks are going to become predatory? Like you already see the buy now, pay later stuff. Like what is the sort of Klarna that everybody was putting concert tickets on? You can buy food and groceries on that. It's basically like an extension of a credit card, right? But women use it all the time. Stuff like DoorDash. You can put DoorDash stuff on Klarna. You think you aren't going to run into women who have been fiscally irresponsible in that regard? You're wrong. You guys are 100% wrong. I'm not telling you guys to hate women or anything like that. I'm just simply telling you have to be prepared for that, right? Your home ownership. How many of you guys think that you're ever going to own a house? Right? If you guys think that you're going to own a house, you're 100% wrong. Now you can buy a house, but paying it off in like 30 years, 40 years, it's not going to happen. All the while, you go out there, you take out your student loans, you go to college to become an engineer or something like that. You get a job, you buy a house at an inflated price. The cost of living is going up, and you're living with this woman who's talking about, I don't want to have sex with you because we have a kid. I don't want to be intimate with you for reason XYZ. It's not worth it. Now, once again, I'm not telling you not to get married, not to be in a relationship. I'm just telling you, have you counted the cost? Right? You're running out of time to be successful. You got rent through the roof. Are wages going through the roof? Meanwhile, this lady is doing, this lady is scorekeeping with you.
Than men. Two things. One, it is fucking disgusting and honestly in 2025 kind of shocking that there are so many men in the comments that believe that just because somebody is a wife, that means they have to open their legs to.
Just because she's your wife doesn't mean she has to sleep with you. Just because she lives in the house with you doesn't mean she has to sleep with you. Just because this, just because that. I'm not telling any of you guys to hate women. I'm not telling any of you guys to not get into a relationship. I'm just saying that you're going to be maintaining the relationship. You're going to have to maintain that. Are you ready for that? Have you calculated that cost? Right? You're not going to build any home equity. You move into a house, you're living with this woman, you're not building any equity. All the while, you're not getting any sex, you're not getting any cooperation. She's turning your son gay, right? She's spending money like it's water. She's going to want to go on weekend trips and getaways. That's going to cost you $300 to $700 a pop. She's going to be spending money at the grocery store that she doesn't need to be spending. She's going to be at coffee shops. All of that's going to cost you. That's maintenance. These are not costs that are going to get cut just because you want them cut. Right? So I just want you guys to kind of think about this. I'm not being hypercritical of women. I'm being hypercritical of men who aren't prepared for what they're about to face. Right? You guys aren't thinking about the jobs that are being replaced that you don't really have. Like cybersecurity. How many of you guys work in cybersecurity? How many of you guys know people who work in cybersecurity? Those jobs are going away. Those jobs you're going to have to be at the top. You're going to have to be the top guy in the world of cybersecurity. You're going to have to be the absolute top guy. All the people I know who work in like network engineering, they're automating those jobs. So they have to restructure their life. But those guys went out and bought houses and they got relationships. I don't know if you guys remember, like 7-8 years ago, there was like the big push for everybody was getting the Cisco certifications and the Google certifications, and they were all doing like the network engineer jobs. Everybody wanted to be a Google network engineer. Everybody wanted to be a Cisco security analyst. Everybody wanted to do that. People went out there and got those jobs. Now AI, like network automation tools, have just wiped that out. They wiped all of that stuff out. Right? If you're not like a tier 2, 3, or better cybersecurity analyst, bro, you're done. Meanwhile, people have invested. Like I said, I'm 40. I know one of the guys was saying he's 19. I think Red said he's 19. You got people who have invested tons of money into their profession. Cybersecurity, engineering, banking, finance. Guess what? That's going to get wiped out by AI. Meanwhile, you guys are chasing a relationship. Your job is about to go away. Are you prepared to make that shift? Meanwhile, you have to maintain the relationship. That woman's not going to stick around. And even if she does stick around, what is she talking about? Not giving you sex. Why? Oh, I'm a mom and I'm busy and I got stuff going on. I don't have time to have sex with you. I don't have time to be horny. Okay. Right? And you can't avoid that. That's why I'm saying you got to want to put yourself in the best position now. Right? Put yourself in the best position now before you do all of that. Before you go out there and get married and put yourself in a position to where you can't really maintain anything. Put yourself in a better position. Where are we at? Let's let this lady finish.
Second, I am not normalizing not having sex with your partner. I absolutely do not believe that's healthy, and that is definitely a doom for marriage.
That's not the one.
Feminine will test the shit out of you. She will literally push your buttons just to see how you will react.
This is what you guys are dating. This is what you guys are marrying. Meanwhile, the only people who are going to actually have jobs, like, I want you guys to think about this. You get into this relationship and she's testing you on purpose. Meanwhile, the cost of living is going up and your job is uncertain. How much stress is that going to add to you? At the same time, this woman can monkey branch. That's one of the biggest things that people aren't really telling you guys. People can monkey branch. They're allowed to monkey branch. That woman can be in a relationship with you and she can be putting you through the paces and you're paying for everything. And then all of a sudden, boom, she's gone. You guys have to plan for that kind of stuff. If you're not planning for that kind of stuff, you're gonna get cooked. Most of you guys are gonna get cooked if you're not out here, actually with your head on a swivel. If you're not out here with the head on a swivel, putting yourself in the best possible position to succeed, security, like cybersecurity people, Are you guys in strategic roles? I don't know. All you project managers, y'all are getting replaced. Software architects, those people might be safe. But if you're not at the top of the food chain from an economic standpoint, you are not going to succeed. So you shouldn't be getting into relationships, especially when this is what you have to look forward to, right? Check the time. All right. So this was a much shorter stream. I didn't think I was going to make it. My voice actually pulled through. We're gonna keep doing more streams. I'm gonna try to do like 90 days of stream, not consecutive, but just like every week. I'm gonna try to post something up every day. Let me know in the comments if there's something you guys in particular want me to talk about, and I can put some stuff together on that particular thing. But today I just wanted to get out here, burn a couple hours off the clock. If you guys are trying to level up in anything that you're trying to do, like if you're trying to stream, if you're trying any new endeavor, you have to be aggressive. And as you guys, I've talked about it, this will be like the third day. The dude, Speed or Kai Sinat, whatever, that guy is starting a whole streaming school, right? And it's not a good thing, right? They're actually closing the door on streaming, and that's what he's doing. Now, I'll explain that in a later stream, but if you guys are thinking about making content, I just want you guys to know uploading regular videos, not going to get it. You have to be live streaming. And if you are going to live stream, you have to be aggressive. You have to be extremely aggressive. And honestly, I want you guys to just get in the habit, get in the mindset of just being more aggressive about producing something. Be more aggressive about doing something that's going to make you money. Are you going to be an expert at it? No. Am I an expert at this? No. There's a lot of stuff I need to get down pat and under control. And, I need to, figure out how to segment this show and whatnot. But I want you guys I'm trying to be successful. I want you guys to be successful. I know you want to date, but you got to put that stuff on the back burner because like CGA said, you have to maintain it. Are you in a position to maintain anything that you've built? Probably not. If so, good on you. But if not, grow. Be aggressive in your growth. So I ain't going to hold you guys forever. I'll tap in with you guys tomorrow.